What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another cup of conversation where we have conversations worth having. I am your host, T, and you are now tuned in to another Anywhere But There series. Like I said last week, this is just us outside of our normal recording area, getting some of those creative juices flowing in different spaces, and possibly looking for another podcast home. So this week we are at the Hive Houston again. They let us rock out for a couple episodes here. So we're going to check out some rooms and see what we like. If you are a creator in Houston and you haven't checked out Hive Houston, you need to be here. They have a bunch of different rooms, a bunch of different options. So yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all. I came here with not an entrepreneur this week. We've been having an entrepreneur versus corporate ladder talk. This week, I came with somebody that has been riding the corporate ladder and stepping their way to the top. They do entrepreneur shit too, but we'll get into all that. I have JaRon, co-host of Mind of Reese podcast. Y'all give it up, everybody. Thank you for coming sit down with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So we're going to talk about the corporate ladder. You know, today, climbing the corporate ladder, doing things the American dream way. You know, we've been stepping out of the normal lately. A lot of people have been doing entrepreneur stuff, and I've had a couple of different entrepreneur conversations, but I've been begging for a corporate ladder conversation because people ain't really flexing the corporate ladder like they should. So,
and I think that has a lot to do with the social media influence of, you know, your own blah, blah, blah. And you want to be your own boss. But I'm a believer in everybody can't be a boss. You know, people need workers. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being
Chiefs and Indians.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with being a good employee. You know, there's nothing wrong with just climbing that corporate ladder and, you know, you get your house and your picket fence and your dog and your wife and you clock in and then you retire with your benefits and chill. You know, not everybody wants to be, you know, the boss. And as a person who's been an entrepreneur, you work. Honestly, you
just as much.
You did twice as hard.
I'm gonna say 24/7. Really, you don't clock
twice,
out.
Yeah,
so.
You work twice as hard for half the money sometimes. Yeah. Like it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah,
you know, I made it work for a year, but the moment I was able to get back, I was like, all right, you know, I stick to doing this on the side.
Tough. Like that shit is tough. You got to learn stuff that's outside of what you want to do. Like if I want a podcast, I still have to learn how to market. I got to learn how to do this. I got to learn how to do that. And I'm like, bro, that ain't what I signed up for. But I want you to tell the people a little bit about your corporate jobs. What did you do to get that, and how did you fall into that career field?
So right now I'm a tankerman. For those who don't know, a tankerman is a person who moves liquid cargo from one place to another. Right now I do inland marine tanking. So I work on a ship. We push barges up and down the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
My personal type of tanking is a special type of tanking called bunker tankerman. And what I do is I refuel ships. So cruise ships, tanker ships, cargo ships, dry bulk ships, any of those big ships you see with the containers and all that, I refill those. If you might see me, you might be getting on a cruise one day and see my boat pull up next to yours and putting different types of fuel, because all the ships take like 3 or 4 different types of fuel. So that's what I do. I'm fairly new in it. You start out as a deckhand, which isn't glorious, but you got to be willing to put in the work. But if you become a tankerman like that. It didn't take me but 2 months to become a tankerman.
Oh,
so now some people wear deckhands for 2 years.
Is that a choice, or do you like choose to you got to take certifications to get?
You can be a deckhand for 2 years. On my boat, it wasn't an option. Like, my captain wants everybody to be a tankerman.
Okay.
But on some boats, if you want to be a deckhand, a career deckhand, that's fine. Because some people don't want to move up. And I mean, you can still make good money as a career deckhand. Like in 2 years, you're making almost $500 a day as a career deckhand.
But we talked about that kind of with the entrepreneur conversation. It's all about what you want out of life. So that might work for somebody. They might want just a big old country house in the country, and deckhand might afford them that. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of whatever floats your boat type thing.
Exactly.
But you said it didn't take you long. Did you have to do certifications, schooling? Was any of that involved?
The company I work for has their own school, their own training facility. So if you show initiative, they are trying to promote you like ASAP, because with every promotion, you have to get X amount of days on the boat, and you have to hit X marks, like you have to learn this. So once you hit X amount of days, the office is calling your captain like, hey, is he ready? Is he ready? Is he ready? Is he ready? And your captain signs off on, okay, yeah, he's ready.
Okay.
So that's how it worked out for me. I got into this field. A buddy of mine who is working on becoming a captain himself, he got into the industry a couple years ago. And when he did it, I was a process operator. And he was telling me that, hey, man, I know you making good money as an operator, but if you're willing to take this pay cut, it ain't going to be for long.
Yeah.
Just laying down everything I'm telling you about the industry, basically. And he's like, it's so much better. And it's so much less stressful.
You let go being an operator?
Well, I didn't let it go. We'll get into how I got into that. So at the time, it was like a $35,000 a year pay cut, and I'm just not going to do. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was I had a job to be an offshore operator with this company called Danos. One of my dad's neighbors is an operator for Danos, and everything was supposed to go. And I gave my 2 weeks at the plant I was at, Chemtreat, to go. And then the hurricanes last year in the Gulf ravaged the platform I was going to.
Oh, wow.
So they held off on my start date, and it was so I was supposed to go out there in October, and they were like, we looking at February. Well, I'd already left my last job.
Yeah. So
when I gave my 2 weeks, I left it, and I wanted a week off before I actually left to go to the platform. So when that happened, I was like, oh.
Yeah. You already done put in your 2 weeks and
so
everything.
Now I'm I was already doing armed security, bounty hunting.
Okay, that's
bodyguard work.
Your year of entrepreneur?
Yeah, so almost a year.
Okay.
But I was already doing that on the side. And I had gotten fairly a good amount of clients from doing that.
Okay.
So once I was no longer working as an operator, I said, oh, all right, well, looks like I'm doing this.
Right.
So I crushed it. I mean, I did great chasing bounties and doing armed security, bodyguard work. I've worked for I had a couple clients. I was actually in talks for working with B King to become his full-time security, and unfortunately he passed. But I did work for him when I met him. I got booked to do security at a video shoot he did in Beaumont, and he took a liking to me. We had great conversation, yada yada. But he passed not too long after that.
All right.
But I've had other clients that I can't talk about, obviously, because of NDAs. But bounty hunting is where I kind of cut my teeth. Once I started securing one bounty, it turned into 2, turned into 3. But it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And I have 2 kids that I have to worry about. And didn't have any benefits because I was working for myself. And that's the main thing about
working entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship is, there is no security blanket as far as
create it.
Exactly. So as I'm going through all this, money's up and down, I'm still paying bills, but I'm not living the life of leisure that I was used to.
Right.
And then one day I get on Instagram and I see my buddy that tried to tell me to come out there and do this. So he bought this big old house out in Pearland. So I text him. I say, hey, what it is you say you do for a living again?
What about that job again?
Because boy, this working for myself stuff, it's cool, but it ain't all it's cracked up to be. So he gave me the information, gave me a couple different companies to work that I could apply for, and the company I'm at, he told me, that's where you want to go. That's a great company. He said, I can get you on here with my company, but if you get on there, that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
And I put in an application, and my resume is immaculate. They saw it. Of course, I didn't have any experience specifically as a tankerman, but as a process operator, it's not a foreign job. It's not foreign. Exactly. I'm well versed in the industrial environment. So You know, I had to tell that in my interview. I told them basically what I just told you, because they were like, "Why are you trying to take a pay cut?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I'm not doing that right now. This is what I got going on."
That makes sense. It makes sense kind of how the cards like fell in that order. What did success look like in your family? Were your parents entrepreneurs or were they corporate workers?
So my stepfather was a process operator my entire life. He's now a supervisor for ExxonMobil.
He probably worked with my mama. My mama is a process operator there too for years.
Which location?
In Beaumont?
No, which one? Is two of them in Beaumont. On the BPEP or the lube plant, refinery?
Refinery.
Okay.
In the refinery side.
Okay, on the refinery side, yeah. Well, my dad's on the B&P side, blending and packaging.
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
So it's at the lubricants plant, but different departments.
Oh, okay.
Same plant, different departments. But yeah, so my dad did that. He has an entrepreneurial bone. Him and my uncle bought a dump truck together.
Okay.
And so they, do that. That's a thing on the side. My mom she works in the administration side at Total in Port Arthur.
Okay.
But she also has a side gig. She has a cleaning company, and she has a costume jewelry that she sells online. So she has an entrepreneurial bone. My biological father, he's a retired vet, but he does like tile and sheetrock and electrical work, plumbing. He always did that on the side. He used to do it full time, but now he just, when he wants some extra money, he pick up a job, and then because he's, like I said, he's retired, he chilling.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how my family is, more on the corporate side, but you have little sparks of like y'all have little side businesses here and there. My mama really was like strict to if she did anything on the side, it was gonna go to school so she can get a better corporate, like to climb that corporate ladder.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. But it's just like two different sides of the street. But people don't glorify this side as much because we talk about being an entrepreneur and being focused on that so much. But like as young kids, I don't think none of us sit around and think about owning our own businesses. I don't know. Was that something like you feel like you thought about?
No, I thought about going to the NFL. That was my whole.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Like we have like fairy tale. I ain't gonna say fairy tale dreams, but like
Once I graduated college and wasn't going to the NFL, I had to figure it out.
Right.
'Cause I played football. That's how I played that's how my college was paid for. Once the NFL didn't happen, it was all right. Well, what you gonna do from here? So.
And I feel like that's a lot of men, especially black men. Like, y'all don't get the chance to like dream goals like women do. We kind of, because there's not many women that's like focused on one thing like that. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a cheerleader or a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, or I'm gonna be a nurse for my whole life. Like, even if they do decide to be nurses or something like that, I feel like it's a do what you got to do type thing, not really striving for your dreams. But women always hit that point in life where they like, I want to do something for me. I don't know if men get that option as much. Do you feel like you get to like chase your dream goals?
Well, see, for me, I did get to chase my dream, which was playing football.
Okay.
It just didn't work out. And I'm one of those people where I don't have any regrets because I know I gave my all towards reaching that. And since it didn't work out, now it's time to figure out this.
So you wouldn't want to do anything in the sport field?
So for me, I would have loved to coach. But I got into the plants right after I came home, and once I started, making a certain amount of money, even though I'd have loved to coach,
can't take that pay cut.
I can't take that pay cut. Yeah. It takes a while to really start. It takes a while in coaching to start making the same money that I made in basically 2 years.
Right. And that's kind of my point about doing what you got to do, because men have to provide. They have, families. They have
I had a son. I had a son less than a year after I came home from college. So it's like, hey,
that's what I mean.
Got to do what I got to do.
Doing what you got to do and not really getting to fulfill that little boy's dreams, So do you ever think that I know y'all have a podcast right now. Do you ever think that you'll get back into something that's more fulfilling? Like that's
honestly, and truth be told, my current job is very fulfilling.
Okay.
So
you kind of took a liking to.
I
didn't think
I didn't think I'd like it. Like, it's
Okay.
one thing to have a job; it's another thing to actually like a job. Like, I like being on a boat. I like learning. Like, I'm learning about diesel mechanics right now because when you're on that boat, y'all are mechanic. Y'all the cooks. Y'all the maids. You the mechanic. Like, I'm learning different things, and next year I'll be learning to become a pilot, where I actually operate the boat, and then that's when you work on becoming a captain and all that. So I'm learning so much, and it's, number one, it's not backbreaking work. So I done had some slave jobs now. So it's like,
I like that you're speaking into that, because I don't think young men see that. They want quick money. They want to, but they don't. Everybody like a good entrepreneur story, or a good viral moment, or a good something that gets them somewhere quick. We in a microwave generation. So I'm glad you kind of speaking to that as a Black man that actually like what they doing and actually is learning something new and, growing in your craft.
Yep. And it took me so I graduated college at 21. I just turned 30 this year.
Okay,
it took
me 30 club. Me too.
It took me all that time to land on a job that I actually like, and I really think I had to go through that to appreciate this.
Yeah.
Like, this whole journey got me into this point to where, okay, you done effed up some other jobs before, or you got greedy thinking you was gonna leave this job for this one and it didn't work out.
Right.
You done the entrepreneurial thing. So now that you got something that's where you making a great living, and you actually enjoy the work, and you still have time to do your side hustle, while you're home. I'm at a point where I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you brought me on to talk about how
I love that you speaking into that, because we have a shortage of a lot of things. Plumbers, electricians, like, people are not really looking into trades no more. People are not really looking into anything, I'm not gonna say of education, but anything that is one of those, what do they call them? Essential things. Like, something that you're gonna always need to survive. Like, you need
now,
in the world.
What I will say is
something they can't get rid
of. With the younger generation, because I'm privy to being around the Gen Z, the 21 and under, because that's my little brother's age group. I've met a lot. I'm getting my little brother. He actually just did his application today, getting him involved in it.
Yes.
But what I do see in that group, for the ones that do have their heads on straight, because a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
For the ones that do have their heads on straight, they're going one or two ways. They're going into the trades because they're learning that college ain't for them, or they're learning from our age group where they went to college and did everything.
Don't got no good job.
And they did everything they heard we were told we were supposed to do, and now I got all this debt and working a job that I didn't even need this degree for. Exactly. So a lot of them are going into the trades, or they are going into entrepreneurship, which, I mean, it could be being a social media influencer. It could be truck driving, where they want to get their own truck. It could be a myriad of things. But I do see a lot of them avoiding the college route.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, though? I think our generation, like, I feel like we in the same little millennial class or whatever, and we know both sides. We know the side of what degrees and knowledge can bring, and we also know the side of how they are quickly getting money to this entrepreneurship side, to this, learning how to structure your money so it can work for you too, and you can do the least amount of work and still make a good amount of money. I think that they're having a hard time kind of like seeing both sides.
Yeah, I tend to agree with them having a hard time seeing both sides. I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact, like I said earlier, the social media side of it, really boosting their head up into glorifying the entrepreneurship and having a job like just seem like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them haven't really understand the type types of jobs that are out here. A lot of people think having a job is just, you had some warehouse on a forklift making $22 an hour, like, and if that's where you are, understand there's nothing wrong with that, because I've been there. I've worked at lumber yards. I done done it.
But it's all a ladder.
It's all a ladder.
To the next.
So, but I think a lot of them see that and hear the horror stories about people trying to climb the corporate ladder, but sometimes they get hit at the ceiling for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times people do get held back at these jobs. But often, and I've seen it myself, that a lot of people that's doing the complaining about feeling like they're hitting the ceiling, it is something they're not doing. Like, they're not going to tell you the part where they late every other day, or they got a bad attitude, or they have, they were missed a deadline on a project. Or
I can agree to that. But I do still think that there's places out here that don't want to see us successful.
Absolutely.
Like, I work at I'm in logistics now, and first of all, if I would have known about logistics coming out of high school, I probably would have got right into it, because it's a really good career field, trucking logistics. But
oh yeah,
and it's interesting to keep your mind going. I really like it, from going from the trucks to the ships to the this. Like, I really.
So you like playing routes, or you a broker?
Yeah, I do the routes, shipment, ship product out.
If you was a broker, we was gonna have some beef.
Oh no, I no
you know the brokers ain't that boy.
I send that we got a middleman for that. We got a middleman for that. I don't even deal with that, because them truckers be serious about that shit.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that it's not introduced to us in a good light, because I wish I would have started this career field earlier, but also not with the people that I'm with now, because they would have threw me off of it. Like, the way that these old school companies work, how they, expect you to go by these old guidelines, and they're not really listening to.
And I think that's also goes back to why the younger generation doesn't see it the way we do.
Yeah.
Because we are able to bridge that gap mentally with that older generation, because we were raised under them. So we understand what you're thinking, even though we don't agree with it. We understand your mindset, because that's how we were raised. That's how our aunties, cousins, grandma, they raised us under that mindset. But now we're in that in-between generation where we know that, okay, everything they're talking about is not the best way to go about it. These young kids do have a point.
Yeah.
Now, the young kids, they were raised by us, or the older millennials, I would say. And they're not going for that.
Yeah.
And how you said how when you were younger, they would have probably got you up out of there.
Yeah.
That's where they're at, and that's where those young kids are at in their life right now, where they're like, man, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
I tell people that in my job all the time. I say, hey, I understand where y'all coming from with the structure and all that other stuff, but y'all gonna have to change some of y'all ways and y'all mindset if y'all feel like y'all gonna keep anybody younger than me in here. I'm telling you, I'm the youngest motherfucker y'all gonna get. I'm 30. I'm telling y'all, I'm the youngest person y'all will get in here with that mindset. Like, these young kids, it was a young forklift driver that came in, and he made company, he did what he was supposed to do, but that young nigga just didn't like the way they was treating him. So he started calling off. He started, they was overworking him, trying to slave, like, just because they, when they short staffed, they want you to do extra and extra, and it like,
and that's another thing.
Always be short staffed? You always want me to work my ass off? Like, are you going?
And that's another thing these companies do when you are a good employee. They reward hard work with more work.
With more work.
And it's just, I've had that happen to me. I'm like, bro, I'm over here slaving, and he's sitting there sipping Gatorade, not doing nothing. And you don't get, a lot of times you don't get promoted. People get promoted off of, oh, I like this person. And you lose people like that.
Yeah.
But I can say, for the company I'm at and the industry that I'm in, as far as tanking, it is not like that. Now, I can't
a lot
speak
of companies are starting to change.
I can't speak for every company.
Yeah.
I know my company.
I think a lot of them are starting to get with the new wave. Like,
but that's because people from our age group are
starting to be the
ones running it, and they're like, man, I remember when I got screwed over for this, or I remember when I was a worker and it didn't work out like this. Let's run it this way,
right?
And more of that needs to happen, because you really do want to retain, because good workers are hard to find. So when you get them, do right by them.
Yes.
It's really, you would think it'd be easy, but
yeah, and we're not living in an economy where you can't just not be doing right by people.
Yeah.
They didn't stop making jobs when they stop making this one, you know, so people are gonna move around and find what works for them. You can't just treat people any kind of way. And I think a lot of companies are still in that mindset of you need a job. But you need an employee too, don't you?
And the thing about it, so yeah, you need a job. That you get away with that at Walmart and all that.
You know what I mean?
But in an industry like this, where I have a license, to where companies will overpay me just to take me from you,
that
ain't gonna fly.
But I see them do plant workers like that, with they, you know, welders and riggers and people with certs and all this other stuff. It's certain people that still got that mindset that, you know, they can still talk to people any kind of way.
And I tell you what, them welders and them electricians and all that, you think that's gonna fly? I bet. I go over here, go get 45. I'm an electrician with 10 years experience. I don't have to deal with this. I'll go right over here, or I can go on the road and make almost $8,000 a week.
Yeah,
and working half as hard. I'm only working here because I like going home every day.
Exactly.
Like, so it's when you get to a certain point, and you got to put the work in, and you got to pay your dues. But once you get to a point to where you don't have to deal with that, don't deal with it.
I love that you mentioned you kind of exaggerated the fact about putting in the work and paying your dues, because y'all, we have to all learn how to be chief. I mean, Indians, if we want to be chiefs. You can't just skip that portion. You have to know how to be a worker before you know how to be a boss. And I think that's what a lot of the youth are missing.
Jumping right into being a boss.
Yeah. That's why they don't know how to do contracts. They don't know what percentages they supposed to be getting. If they are getting that viral moment, they don't have no LLC to back them up. You know, they don't have the right things in place. So I'm glad you came today to talk about the corporate ladder side of things, because everybody loves a good entrepreneur story.
Yes.
Everybody loves a good, you know, flex on social media, but I'm sure you could flex in ways that entrepreneurs can't flex. You can flex in ways like, I know in benefits for sure. You can flex with benefits.
Oh man, the benefits.
The benefits is crazy.
I know you benefits is great. I can't even lie to you. Benefits is great. I'm talking about phenomenal.
Baby's gonna be well taken care of. Always.
Phenomenal. I don't like, man. Benefits. So like, listen, when I have my child support hearing, they because you know, if you don't have private insurance, you got to pay. It's like an extra $100 a month for the Medicaid or whatever for the insurance. I sent that paperwork over. I said, I ain't an entrepreneur no more. I'm covering my baby. I'm covering my boy. Go take that off of that for me.
Nah, for real.
And also, when you like, unless like a lot of us are on child support, so for me being on child support, having a job is just, you know,
it just makes more sense.
Send the paperwork over.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Take it out my check.
Stress.
I don't miss it. You know, there were times when I was an entrepreneur where, you know, I had to like I would get a bounty and say it was $3,500. Right? Well, 40% of that I got to set to the side for taxes.
Yeah.
Off the rip. So now it's like, okay, I got to decide, am I going to pay bills with the rest of this money? Am I going to pay child support with the rest of this money? What am I going, you know, what bills am I going to pay? Blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know when the next bounty's coming in.
Yeah.
So in between bounties, you know, I got to wait on them people to call me.
Right.
So in between bounties, I'm doing auto security. This job might be 50 an hour. This job might be 30 an hour. This job might be 25 an hour. This job might be 80 an hour. You know, so you bouncing around and doing all that, and you know, you might forget to pay your child support for a month.
Yeah.
It's like, oh damn, I ain't even.
You ain't got it like mapped out for you,
and,
like
you know, you
and
might
that's the
forget.
thing I like about corporate ladder jobs. Sometimes, like, it's mapped out for you. This entrepreneurship is not mapped out for you at all, and that's what I kind of like that's kind of the point I try to make to people. This not mapped out for you. They're not telling you, oh, this is the best insurance to use. Oh, this is you ain't got no PTO You ain't got no, you know what I'm saying?
You take a vacation, that's cool. You just
you just ain't gonna get no money. I mean, unless you got a business that, you know, it flow in.
Passive.
Like, passive.
And if it's passive, you've probably already put in the work to make it passive.
Make it passive. So you've already put in that time.
So now with me, like there were a couple times where I had some passive income, where I did a good job and, you know, people want me to come back, but I've already agreed to do a job over here.
Okay.
And they would want me to come back, and I'll charge you $300.
Mm-hmm.
And I charge them $300, and then I get somebody else that I know does security.
And
I'd be like, hey, I'll pay you $200 to go over here.
Yeah.
And they like, 200, bet. But see, me, because I've done a good job and because I have made a name for myself, I was able to charge a little bit more, because a lot of security is BS. Like, a lot of these dudes is just, you know, so a lot of them is just big dudes in t-shirts or just friendly, and you know, they just collecting a check. Like, no, you hired me to do a job, it's gonna get done. I promise you. So they don't mind paying me a little bit more. So a normal job that might be $200, I'm gonna charge you $300, but then I'm gonna give another officer $200, and then I'm just pocketing $100, and I'm over here making $400 at this job. So
you got to learn how to do that. You got to learn how to time manage like that.
Yeah, I was making it flip that way, doing security, and that's really and doing security when you really start making money, when you are getting jobs and you got other people doing it, and you charging them officer fee,
right?
You know, but that's just a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of networking.
It's a lot of work,
and it's a lot of people saying
they Rolodex of people that you,
and it's a lot of people saying they will do it, and then like, hey man, where you at? Oh man, I had this other job come up paying me $250.
And be last minute is,
and that's happened to me. I'm like,
always something with entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
always something. My last question would be just, how are you funneling your money from your corporate job to kind of make yourself financially free, to where one day you could be relaxing? Is that already set up for you?
Right now I'm not relaxing because I'm trying to move, trying to get a house out in Cyprus. Told you that before. Mm-hmm. So basically I just have it divided up into multiple bank accounts. I have my checking account, then I have my bills account, where bills just auto draft out of there. I just had the money sent. I know exactly how much every 2 weeks need to go into that account for my bills. It just go over there. I don't miss it. Then I have my savings account.
Okay.
So once it gets to a certain point after I move and get my house, I'm gonna still keep doing the same thing. Once it gets to a certain point to where I'm ready to invest into something else, because I'm never not gonna have a side hustle. That entrepreneur bone is just in me.
Mm-hmm.
But making it full time is where it's like, I ain't ready to do that.
Right.
But once it gets to a certain point to where I'm able to buy maybe a little duplex or something, you know, has some rental income coming in or anything like that, that's when I really feel like, all right, it's time to relax.
Yeah.
Because once I do that, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't doing security no more.
Blame you.
Yeah,
you feel like you're gonna be like your dad, like retired, but still picking up little stuff here and there, still having an entrepreneur.
If I retire, I'm probably gonna be full-time entrepreneur.
Okay.
To be honest, because I can't sit in retirement and do nothing.
Okay.
You know,
I feel it.
I wouldn't be able to do. Now,
I want to be retired and doing nothing.
If I'm so rich to where I can do nothing, I'm gonna just be doing nothing all over the world.
Okay.
But
that's what that's the type of
But in realistic, like a regular retirement, to where it's, you know, I probably, you know, the goal is, you know, maybe, you know, own me a couple properties, own me a couple trucks, and just, you know, running a business. But by retirement age, maybe my sons or whoever I hire to run my company, they running it itself, and I'm just catching my check till I croak.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I love that. That's a good plan. That is a very good plan. And I feel like you've done the things to set up yourself in the right way. I'm not gonna say you always chose the right path, but I feel like you
damn sure didn't. I had to
the cards fell where they need to be, and you've done the things. You learned your lessons. Like, you're not repeating the mistakes and hoping something new happens for you.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that, black man. I love to see it. congratulations on climbing that corporate ladder and sticking to your guns. I know sometimes it's not easy working for people, but I'm glad you found somewhere that you feel like you can grow.
Absolutely.
And something that you feel like fits you.
And if any of you young men out there want to get into the inland marine industry, whenever she posts this and tag me, just DM me. I will send you all the information you need. All you need is a Twit card and clean piss. That's it.
Heard that nephew, clean piss.
That's it.
Because I'm a damn near send that nigga right to the end. That nigga, he need to figure out what.
That's all you need.
I just don't want him to be one of them young niggas that don't get to fulfill their dream or like, end up doing what they got to do. Exactly. Just find something you like.
Give it a shot.
Build that
even if you
ladder or entrepreneur ladder.
Even if you don't like it, right? Because we done all work jobs we don't like to get to where we want. This one of them jobs, even if you don't like it, you're going to make enough money to where, okay, I'll give it a year or two. And then if you really just want to be an entrepreneur, you stack your money up and then
it's always
go do what you want to do.
Nobody say you got to stay there for 20 years. Nobody say you got to retire there.
I'm going to retire.
And that's what you like to do. That's what you like to do. Definitely.
And don't think you can't get rich off of a job. That's another misconception. On my boat, there are 2 millionaires. Like I work with 2 millionaires. Like this is
okay.
Yeah,
you gotta learn how to
now, of course,
funnel your money.
They're not millionaires because they make $1 million a year.
No, they know how to make their money.
They've invested properly. Their 401k got millions in it. So it's like
put in the time.
They put in the time. Now, granted, these are older guys, but one guy's like 55, the other one's like 60. But I'm trying to be,
I mean, that's halfway. You
almost retired.
You already
retire a millionaire. You doing all right.
Yeah.
So like there is money to be made in working a job if you know what to do with your money. So I said,
it's all about financial literacy.
Absolutely. So DM me. I will tell you. Now I'm not gonna give you. I don't know y'all, so I'm not gonna get you on. But I will tell you what you need to do. Yeah, and I'll tell you. I'll send you company names. I see you, maybe some keywords you might need to put on your resume to get it pulled. I ain't gonna vouch for none of y'all. I don't know y'all niggas, but
I love that. Still giving back to the community.
Yeah, but go ahead and do this and keep trying because they always hiring. Like my company, we hire 30 people every month.
Love that.
15 people every 2 weeks.
Somewhere you can grow because they obviously growing people, so they gonna need people.
And people somebody's always getting promoted. Or somebody's always leaving to go shoreside. So there's always spots. Somebody always retiring. And when one person retire, it's a ladder. Like it's a domino effect of how it works. Like this captain retire. Well, his relief captain becomes captain. Mm-hmm. Then a pilot becomes relief captain. Mm-hmm. Then somebody becomes then a tankerman becomes pilot. Then you know what I'm saying? It just goes all the way up. Or when somebody leaves, it's the same thing. Like, and it's always happening. Let me say, and my company, we're the biggest, so that's why we hire 30 a month. But other companies are always hiring. They might hire 10, 15 guys a month. They might hire 8 guys a month.
Right.
And especially if you on the Gulf Coast. It's all up and down from here to Florida.
I love that. Y'all hear this black man speaking these opportunities. Y'all take that in. Tap in with him if y'all still looking for it. Y'all haven't figured it out yet. And check out him and his friends on Mind of Reese podcast.
Mind of Reese
podcast.
Anywhere you listen to your podcast.
I'm sure he's always spilling this game on his show. So anytime y'all want to listen, go check him out. And I will see y'all next week, good folks. Deuces.
Peace out.